Hi, welcome to Story Time with Gigi. Today we are reading a Bible story about King Solomon. This book is about 25 years old. My girls had them, and when they were little, they put marks. King David taught his young son Solomon always to walk in the ways of the Lord. When Solomon was a very young man, he became the king of Israel. But Solomon was afraid. He didn't know how to rule well over his people. So, of all the gifts that God could give him, Solomon asked only for wisdom. Solomon's asking for wisdom pleased God, and he made the young king rich and powerful as well. Solomon ruled with justice and fairness, and the people of Israel trusted him and relied on his judgment. Word of Solomon's wealth and wisdom spread all over the world. People came from everywhere to see him and seek his advice. One day, two women came rushing into the court. One carried a baby. The women stood before King Solomon. Each claimed the baby was hers. There were no witnesses who knew the truth. The entire court was puzzled. At last, Solomon ordered, "Bring me a sword." My goodness. My gosh. "Cut the baby in half," said Solomon. "Then each of them can have part of him." One woman agreed, but the other fell to her knees crying, "Don't kill my baby," she pleaded. "Better that she may have him and that he lives." "That is the true mother," said Solomon. "Give her the child." Soon, Solomon began his greatest task, building God's temple in Jerusalem. Part of that temple is still there. The finest materials and the greatest craftsmen in the world were brought to the temple. It took 7 years to complete the work of the temple, but many of its walls were covered in gold. Look at that. Look how high the walls were. See how small the people are? Look how big those walls were. Great pillars and statues supported and adorned the magnificent building. Wow. Now all the people could come to worship God in his holy tabernacle. Building the temple made Solomon even more famous and respected. And the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem is a piece of this temple. In a faraway land, another monarch was curious about the great king of Israel. She was the Queen of Sheba. With all of her court and followers, she journeyed to meet Solomon in Jerusalem. The queen didn't believe all she had heard about the king. She wanted to see and hear for herself. Solomon welcomed the beautiful queen and thanked her for her fine gifts. The queen listened carefully as Solomon made his judgments, and she marveled at the magnificence of his temple. "You are the wisest man and greatest king in the world, Solomon," she declared. Then she returned to her land with the riches the king gave her. Solomon ruled Israel for 40 years. He left a country rich, strong, and at peace. And that's our story. I hope you liked it. Make sure that you like and subscribe and share with your friends. Bye until next time.